Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and I hope that you had a good weekend and that Monday was okay as well. I can see in the live chat room there's a lot of you in the house already, so let me get you guys up on screen to see who is in there. Orlando, Michelle, Chris, Vince, Lynn, Rocker Girl, DCMC, and I think Chet, Laurelie, Paul again. All the Pauls in tonight. Linda, John, Bonnie going through there and now going through a little bit too quickly, but hello, thank you for joining me on tonight's live stream. I'm going to be getting everything up on screen as we do normally, hopefully in an organised fashion, and the names of my patrons going along the bottom of the screen. They make this possible in the first place, so a massive thank you to them for making this possible and every single video possible on the channel that I do. So all of the analysis videos, the cover videos, and those videos of my music, which you can get over at wingsofpegasus.com/music. If you want to, you can head over there because that's something that I have been asked recently in the comments section. Right, tonight we're gonna, as I've said, or as I always attempt to, keep things organised during the live streams so that everything happens when it should and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes we do get a little bit sidetracked. But what I was sidetracked with a little bit earlier tonight, when I say earlier tonight, I mean, it's probably about a minute or two past midnight, so technically when the live stream has already started. I got an email. I have said to you guys over on Patreon that I might be doing an interview on Friday, but I hadn't had that confirmed yet, and I just received an email literally, 5 minutes ago, something like that, from Carmen, and that's Carmen Gould, who is a flautist, or as I've learnt today, over in the USA, you say flutist, so it's just somebody who plays the flute. But anyway, yeah, I've been talking to Carmen recently, and Carmen is with Mike Dawes, who's a guitarist who you might have seen on YouTube, and, you know, just an amazingly technical player with his acoustic, and he taps onto the fretboard and strikes the body of the guitar. Anyway, yeah, he's got videos that you can check out on YouTube if you want to check out Mike's playing. But Mike will be with Carmen on Friday, and they're currently rehearsing with Justin Hayward. He's on tour here in the UK, so they're kind of rehearsing for that, but they do have a little window in their schedule, which is great, and through a mutual contact that we have, we're going to organise our diaries, and I'm going to be talking to them on Friday, and that is going to be on this channel. So I'll edit that together so that we have another little interview. And I always say that make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell to make sure that you see all of the videos, because occasionally things like this will pop up where we have an interview rather than an analysis video. And on kind of that same theme, last night I was talking with Steve Stevens, who's been on the channel as well, and I'll be going to check them out, and Billy Idol. So Steve with Billy Idol over in London, and it's going to be Wembley Arena that they're going to be playing at next month, and I believe that's like the 18th or the 19th of October, something like that. But anyway, yeah, we were organising that yesterday, so I'll keep you guys in the loop about all of that stuff next month. But if you just want to stay in the loop, make sure that you're subscribed, hit that notification bell. Or if you want to get involved on a deeper level, then you can head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, because that's where all of these lovely people at the bottom of the screen reside, and just really are the foundation of everything that I do. So thank you guys so much. And just to get that on screen as well, so that you can see the link in case you need to type it in if you are interested in getting involved over there. I am on that site every day. I check it every night as well. The personal messages that you can send through there, it's just like effectively a Facebook Messenger type thing, but over on Patreon, so you can send me a message directly if you want to. But let me get rid of that. Right, let's get this screen organised, because we have a likes goal for tonight set at 340. So we're looking for every single thumbs up that we can get, as always on these live streams. hopefully we can reach the target. If we do, we have a pick roulette next week. So we'll keep an eye on the likeometer. In fact, let's get that on screen. We are at 159 likes already. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And I'm trying to think that we're almost halfway. I think 170 would be halfway. So we're looking for 5 more, and it's only 12 minutes past midnight. So we're making an early start, and yeah, making a bit of a dent into that total already. So thank you guys. Maybe we can get a spike of the likes. I think we're getting a little spike going on as we speak, but up to 179. Right, I always say you don't have to donate during these live streams, but if you can't resist it, then the percentages I do put up on screen, because I think it's important for you guys to know that 35 to 45% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, and you can find that in the description below. But like I've said, just watching is great, and hitting the thumbs up as well would be good as well, just because it'll get us to a pick roulette next week. And the pick roulette is something that we do have regularly on the live streams, just because you guys are so good at hitting the thumbs up. But if we don't hit the target, then we don't have a pick roulette. But it is something that, like I've said, we've had quite regularly. So a big shout out to you guys for doing that. And while I'm saying shout out, big shout out to the moderators in the live chat room. You can just see Neil rushing through there. Susan and Dennis going through as well, because they keep everything in order during the live streams and keep it such a great community-based place in the live chat room. And, you know, we are at the point now where we do occasionally get trolls or these bots that just post lots of comments of trying to, you know, put a website on screen or something like that. So, yeah, I think just a byproduct of getting larger as a channel, then yeah, they just seem to think that it's a good idea to just spam your channel with those comments. So anyway, big shout out to the moderators for doing such a fantastic job. And yes, Neil, Susan and Dennis, and we do have Carla in there and Laurie. So thank you guys so much for all of the work that you put in and the time that you dedicate to the live streams. Right. Okay, we're at, well, 210 likes already, which is good. And it's a good number because it means I can say that we need 130 more. So I always keep an eye on the likeometer for when it's an easy bit of maths, as we say in the UK, an easy bit of maths for me to work out. So 130 is what we're looking for. And now 129. We are going to be having our cover video for tonight, and the songs that are being voted for, or at least the songs that are competing, are Carry On Wayward Son and I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And that second option, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, I run out of characters on the poll. You can only do a certain amount, so it'll say something like still haven't found what I'm and then ... So yeah, that is yeah, the U2 song, of course, just in case you're not sure what the full title is. But you guys can have a vote on that. I can see that Carry On Wayward Son currently has 58% of the vote, and that vote is going to run probably for another half an hour, something like that. That's what we tend to do. But before I move on any more with the live stream, I want to just address a donation that came in right at the end of the last live stream, and it is when I had actually stopped live streaming, and it came in from Francis. So thank you for that. And there was a message with it that said, when is your next haircut? And that was a donation of £4.12, by the way. So thank you for that, Francis. And yeah, just missed the end of the last live stream. And to answer that question is, I don't know when my next haircut is. But with my last haircut, I didn't have the, as you can tell from when I do a side-on view, you can see that my hair is now longer than my eyes. So I think my next haircut will probably be soon, maybe in the next week or two, just to take a little bit of length off the fringe. But I intentionally had the fringe a little bit longer last time, just because I think the last time I had it cut, we went a little bit short with the fringe, and it's always a bit of a guessing game, because when you have your hair cut, it's wet, which means it hangs down lower, but then as soon as you dry your hair, or at least when I dry my hair, it then just bounces up. It gets a little bit kind of fluffy. So it's always difficult to judge the haircut, how short to have the fringe. So we went a little bit longer, because I always think, and I do think now, that it's better to have a longer fringe rather than cut it too short and then have a massive gap between your eyebrows and where the fringe starts. So that's what we went for last time. And we're starting off with a hair talk. Just because of this donation that came in at the end of the last live stream, which was on Saturday. So thank you for that, Francis. And I'm just going to scroll up, because I now have to get to the more recent, the more up-to-date donations that have come through, because we are at Tuesday night's live stream. I almost questioned whether we were at Tuesday night. Sometimes they just blend into one each night after the next, but we are definitely at Tuesday. And there was a donation that came in from Nicole for £12 and 35 pence. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, just going to scroll down. Hello, Phil. Good evening at all, and I have a question. Is your nice cover Broken Wings de Mr. or of Mr. You are in a country, but I think it's not England. I love this video. You in nature, healthy for you. Sweet from France. So thank you for that, Nicole. And yes, that video was shot while I was in Brazil. And that's quite a few years ago now. I'm not sure when it was. Maybe 2018, something like that. So maybe about 4 years ago. But yes, I was in Brazil, and I thought it would be different just to shoot the video there rather than in the studio. So I decided to do that. Took a couple of cameras with me, and they were just portable cameras. So yes, it looks a lot different to England, of course, but that is the country that you can see or in that video. But that's what I did. I just recorded it over there. Thank you for that, Nicole. And Amy donated £5 as well. So thank you for that, Amy. And just going to scroll up, because Steve donated £5, and this was at 22 minutes past 4 earlier this afternoon. So thank you for this, Steve. And this £5 donation has a question with it, or a couple of questions maybe. During a live set, how do you flow from one song into another without a break? How do you select the song that can do this? So thank you for that. And I think this is just a case of planning and rehearsing and making sure that, when we put our sets together, or I put the set together for the band, I would generally have maybe 3 songs that were faster in tempo. So I always like to start with a song that was upbeat, and whether that would be, something like, Haunted, that you just listened to at the beginning of this live stream, or I don't know, maybe Percy Johnson, something like that, to just start with a bang. That's how I like to start my live performances. And then maybe the 4th song would then be more of a ballad, so like Paris Nord or Amelia, even though actually Paris Nord is quite upbeat, even though it is a ballad. It's got a little bit of a push tempo to it. But anyway, that's just how I started to do it. And you generally want to, I don't think that I blended songs tempo wise so that nobody's realized you've gone into a new song. I would always have the end of the song, and it really depended actually how the song did finish, because Unwanted Stranger, for example, that just stops suddenly, and Haunted actually stops suddenly as well. So it depends if you want to elongate the end of, say for example, Haunted. I wanted to run it into another song which would be in the same key. I know that Percy Johnson would be in the same key as Haunted, so it would mean that I can run one into the next and probably just hold on the chord at the end of Haunted in order for that to now blend into then Percy Johnson, and we can just, you know, get straight into that riff. So it's just something that you've got to obviously know your songs and the tempos and how you're going to blend one into the next. What we did used to do sometimes was end one song and then hold on the chord of that song and then have maybe synth going on. We did used to have, I can't remember what it was, but maybe the Roland GR20, something like that, which is a MIDI version. I mean, it's turning your guitar into a MIDI instrument effectively. So it's like having a MIDI version of a guitar. So just changing it into a triggered instrument, really, like having a USB keyboard, but doing that for your guitar. And we'd just hit a chord and it'd be a synth kind of sound that would then hold on until, you know, getting into the intro of Amelia, for example, where that chord would be held. We might even do a little transition of 3 or 4 chords, and then I'd start with the clean guitar sound, start strumming the chords, and then we'd work into it that way. So it's just working out in rehearsals, really, and seeing how you're going to piece together the set. The other thing is that's really important is knowing your set time and how long it is. For example, if it is half an hour, you've got to make sure that your set fits exactly into that half an hour space, because if you take too long between songs, and this is something that I did practice with the band in rehearsals, we would do a full half hour and I'd even time what I was saying in between the songs to make sure that we didn't run out of time, because there's nothing worse, and fortunately it didn't happen to me, but there's nothing worse than having 7 songs, for example, that you want to perform and, you know, talk in between songs, maybe at different sections, but then running out of time. And they say, oh, that's it, you've run out of time. And then you say, well, we haven't finished our songs yet. And venues don't care that you haven't finished all your songs yet. They'll just turn off the speakers and turn off the PA. So it's just something to have planned. Make sure that all of your songs run to, you know, maybe 28 or 29 minutes, and then leave in some time for talking and interaction with the crowd, so that you're not going to get in trouble with the venues, because yeah, you want to try and keep on good terms with venues, because that's the only place that you can play. Unfortunately, rehearsals don't count, because nobody's going to be able to come and watch you there, or maybe even pay to watch a rehearsal, especially if you're not very well known as a band. So anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Hopefully I have answered that question. Tammy has donated £25 as well. Thank you for this, Tammy. And this was at 3 minutes past 7 earlier this evening. So we're getting a little bit more up to date here. Just going to scroll down. It's a donation for £25. So thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, if you could get into a studio with any artist today and collaborate on a new song, who would it be and why? So thank you for that, Tammy. And it's a good question, because you've got the question of either collaborating with someone who's, you know, well known and might make a lot of sales, all that kind of stuff, and approaching it from a business side of things. And certainly, for example, Ed Sheeran is an artist who's very big, I think, across the world, but here in the UK, and working with him would obviously just make sense. I think he's a very talented musician, you know, singer, instrumentalist, songwriter as well. So, you know, working with him would be interesting because of, you know, putting your heads together and having 2 totally different genres and having different influences in your own music. So yeah, maybe Ed Sheeran. I mean, Adele would be great to collaborate if I'm thinking along the mainstream kind of lines. But if I'm talking about or thinking about my style of music, it'd be great to do something with, you know, even people that I've mentioned on the channel, like Steve Stevens, for example, at the beginning of the live stream. And, you know, Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult, the kind of music that I'm into, you know, classic rock, hard rock, something that's got a little bit of an edge to it, melodic hard rock as well. So yeah, I mean, pretty much along those lines would be great, would be really interesting. Kip Winger as well, let me throw his name in there because I'm a huge Winger fan and a huge Kip Winger fan. He's just a massively talented artist, instrumentalist, songwriter, composer as well. And myself and Steve did talk about Kip Winger when we did those series of videos earlier this year on the channel. So yeah, huge respect for Kip as well. But I will move on just before I start naming loads of names like David Coverdale as well from Whitesnake, just because I love Whitesnake. This kind of hard rock, melodic hard rock sound, I think a lot of people would maybe refer to it as metal, but I see it as more melodic than kind of heavy metal, which I think, is something where it's sometimes a blurry line for people to know the difference. And I really see a lot of the 80s metal as more hard rock because there's so much melody in there. But not to say that there's not melody in metal. Of course, I think a lot of people refer to the bands from the 80s as metal, and I think nowadays people call it heavy metal. But back in the day, the metal bands, you have some serious melody in there and backing harmonies. There was so much vocally going on, as well as melodic guitar solos. So yeah, certainly the music that I'm into, and yeah, it'd be cool to do something along those lines. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. I'll move on before I just spend all night talking about bands and artists to collaborate with. But thank you for the donation, Karen, as well. And this, I'm just going to scroll down because this is £24.53. Thank you for that. And it seems like with PayPal, we're getting this different type face or font that's going on, and this is at 11 minutes past 11 tonight. So I'm going to see if I can get this on screen so you guys can see it as well. So thank you for this, Karen. And the message is, Phil, are you related to any Weldons? So thank you for that. And no, I'm not. So thank you for the question. And I do sometimes get asked if I'm related to Don Henley because my surname is Henley. And no, I'm not. It's just a coincidence. But if I had have been related to Don, it might have made my Hotel California cover a little bit easier because, yeah, that's taken quite a long time for Don to allow, but he did allow it eventually on the channel. So that's great. It's a good sign that the Henleys are working together, and Don, thinks that my cover is okay to be allowed on YouTube. So, yeah. Double thumbs up to Don, so thank you for that. Right, but thank you, Karen. Yeah, not related to Weldons. And Carla donated £5. Thank you for this, Carla. And the message is, I sent you 2 photos I forget to send earlier. Sorry. So thank you for that, Carla. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to get that or be able to get that on the live stream tonight because as soon as I go live, then going into the software and uploading pictures, doing all that kind of stuff means that the software has a bit of a, or at least it did on my old computer, has a bit of a heart attack. It freezes and then we have to restart the whole live stream again and disconnect and all that kind of stuff. So yes, it's something that is a little bit risky. I might be able to do, I'm just thinking whether I can do what I do for the pick roulette or the riff of the week and do the screen grab and maybe show the pictures and do a screen grab. It's going to be something I'm going to have to work on maybe later in the live stream. So we will see if we can figure that out. But thank you, Carla, for that donation. And just scrolling up because Maria has donated £1.64. So thank you for that, Maria. And the message is, hi Phil and everyone, what do you like to have for a snack? Spike those likes, everyone. So thank you for that, Maria. And okay, for a snack, I pretty much have every night a snack that consists of peanuts, and these are dry roasted peanuts. So it means that they have a really nice coating on them that's nice. I do like roasted peanuts rather than just straight peanuts or salted peanuts. And I sometimes have not dry, honey roasted peanuts. So the dry roasted peanuts and the honey roasted peanuts, I sometimes combine those together. I sometimes forget what they're called. And yeah, I have spoken about peanuts before on the live streams. And somebody said about having cinnamon covered nuts, like maybe pecan nuts or something like that, because I mentioned that I had that over in the USA when I was a lot younger, and my family went to, and I was with my family, we all went to Disney World in Florida, and they had these, I think they were pecan nuts, maybe not, but they were covered in cinnamon and like sugar, and I said that they're really nice. And then, yeah, there's a conversation about, people sending me them in the post. But unfortunately, I now know that nuts are not allowed into the UK. So, unfortunately, I'd have to try and find them here somewhere if I were to buy them. But probably not a good idea because they've probably got a fair few calories in them. I mean, nuts are pretty much okay if you don't have too many of them from an, unsaturated fat point of view. But once you start putting lots of sugar and cinnamon and all that stuff on, it just really does bump up those calories and the fat content. So yeah, probably just something I'm gonna have to be a little bit more strict with. But anyway, yeah, dry roasted peanuts is what I have. Honey roasted peanuts sometimes is a little bit of a treat. And then I have some biscuits that either fig rolls or a single fig roll, and maybe even something that we have called Garibaldi's, which it's a really weird name. I don't even know why they're called that, but they're biscuits that have raisins in them. So it's something that's a little bit sweet, but it doesn't have too many calories in. So that's something that I have as a snack as well. And I have that pretty much every night with a cup of Earl Grey tea. I say a cup, it's not that fancy. I have a mug of Earl Grey tea. And generally, I'll still have a protein shake before I go to bed. That's just out of habit, really. When I was training before, I would always have a protein shake before bed. And it's just something that I have now just to keep my protein content up a little bit and to help my arm to maybe recover a little bit more. I just feel like having protein overnight is something that my body is used to and it prefers to do, especially when you're releasing growth hormone when you sleep. To have a little bit of protein or extra protein for the body to be able to grab hold of, I think is a good idea, but that's just something that I do. So that's my snack in the evenings. Thank you for that, Maria. And scrolling up, because Kim has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Kim. And that is a straight up donation. And Julie has donated £5. Thank you for that, Julie. And that is a straight up donation as well. And Lucy has donated £10. Thank you for that, Lucy. And Lucy says, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, spike the likes, buy the cool merch, join the Wings of Pegasus Facebook page and become a patron with some rock horns, heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. Lots of good advice there. And I'll just plug that Wings of Pegasus supporters group page over on Facebook. If you are a Facebook user, just type that in and you'll be able to join in with that group and join in with these lovely people in the live chat room, because that's where they hang out between the live streams. Vince hosts the after party over there, and there's the occasional Zoom call that you can get involved with. So check that out. Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. Right, we're, I think, pretty much up to date now with the donations, but one's coming from Kim for £15. Thank you for that, Kim. The message is, hey Phil, oh no, hey there Phil, how do you think you would be affected or react if, say, Journey, Pink Floyd, or another great band's lead guitarist couldn't make it on a tour and they asked you to fill in on a world tour with them? So thank you for that, Kim. And yes, I mean, this is something that I think for lots of people, they see it as, a great opportunity if they're still trying to kind of find their feet, or they've got a project of theirs that isn't really that important or doesn't take a lot of time. I've always seen myself as an independent musician. So if, Journey or Pink Floyd said, oh, would you like to play guitar for us? there are too many things that I'm doing at the moment that are part of my own career, and selling my own CDs and packaging those, sending them off, people downloading my music, the live streams, the analysis videos as well, which I enjoy doing, the occasional interviews. It means that I would have to literally stop everything I'm doing and go on tour. And as much as it would be great and it would be good fun, it's something that's not furthering my own career. It's something that's allowing another band to keep their career going. So I think there's obviously I'm approaching this from being a musician myself, and I think that the other bands, even though they're very successful bands, they are just other bands. So it's like saying to Journey, okay, all the members of Journey, Whitesnake, need you to play on their tour. Of course, they'd say, well, no, we're doing our own music, so why would we play for another band? So yes, it's a bit of a different thing, and I think you have to maybe be a bit freer and have less ties, and maybe not be maybe as independent minded as I am. And because I'm doing everything myself, so it means that when I make CD orders, or when CD orders come in, I make them up and I go out and I send them off, and with the merchandise and the sales, I have control of everything. So it means that I have to be doing this every day, answering messages. If people are wanting to get in contact with me from a business side of things, I'm doing those business emails. And the interview on Friday, for example, with, Mike and Carmen that I've already mentioned, Mike Dawes and Carmen Gould, that's happening on Friday it's happening due to a contact that I have and that we share collectively, and that contact is involved with me and them and maybe a project that's kind of a lot bigger in the future. So there's I'm sure you guys can appreciate there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I'm doing. So to just drop that all and go on tour is not something that I could possibly do, or I don't really feel like it's what I need to do at the moment. It's not something that I would think I would enjoy more than doing what I'm doing. And I think that's the most important thing about music and your own career, is that you've got to enjoy what you're doing. And I would feel like learning everybody else's songs, I think, but what about my songs? I'd have to stop sending out my CDs that people are buying. So that's just unfortunately the way it is in music, that you've really got to look at after your own career to begin with. But thank you for that, Kim. And I'm just going to scroll up because there's been another donation that has come through for £20, and that's from Dawn. So thank you, Dawn, for that. And that is a straight up donation. Right. We are at 290 likes, so we are closing in on our likes total that we're aiming for, 340. Still quite a high total for tonight. And it means that it's easy for me to work this out. We need 50 more likes, or 49, as we just went over to 291. So if you haven't used your thumbs up yet, it would be massively appreciated if you could. It really helps this live stream to get out there, but for the channel to grow on the whole as well. Big shout out as well to you guys in the catch-up crew. If you're watching this in the future, hello. You can still hit that thumbs up, and thank you for tuning in later on, because every single bit of interaction, the thumbs up after the live streams, they all help as well. Right, we are going to be attempting to move things forward on the live stream, and I know that there have been some donations that came in before we went live. I haven't even got to these yet. So first of all, we had a donation from Orlando. They said spike the likes for $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. And Paul's donated $5, and the message is spike those likes. Like Orlando said, Orlando promoted me to sidekick instead of backup. We stand together asking people to spike the likes. So thank you for that, Paul. So Paul has been promoted. So this is the first live stream where we have Orlando and his sidekick, Paul. I don't know why, I just imagined almost like having superhero outfits on or something. And actually, with the pictures that Orlando has sent in, I think Orlando's already got the Superman or the superhero kind of look. Obviously, it couldn't be Superman. You'd have to come up with another kind of superhero name. But anyway, Orlando and his sidekick, Paul, yes, thank you for those donations. And we have a plug of the mug that I want to do as well, because we always do this when Orlando or Paul donates at the beginning of the live stream, even though it's 20 to 1 in the morning here. Spike the likes, and yeah, we've got the logo on the other side. If you guys want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, just click on the tray underneath this video or the link in the description below. If you can't see the tray underneath this video, that'll take you through to the spring.com store, and you can have a look at all the merchandise there. T-shirts, hats and hoodies, mugs, all of that cool stuff. So thank you guys for that. Jennifer donated $19 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. And the message is, Phil, is there anyone in the music business you admired, then lost respect for? Would you ever act in a musical? Take care. So thank you for that. And with the musical thing, it's similar actually to the previous question, that I wouldn't say no, but yeah, at the moment, if you're performing in a musical, sometimes you have 2 performances a day, and it is something that you have to dedicate yourself to. And I'm talking about like musical theatre. If you're talking about a musical, then maybe that could work out. You know, shooting a movie is different to actually having to do like 2 performances a day. You can organise your schedule around it a little bit more. So yeah, being in a musical movie, why not? Never rule anything out. But thank you for that, Jennifer. And the first part of the question, I'm not sure. The only people really that I lost respect for, and probably something that just doesn't sit well with me as a person, is when you spend time contacting somebody and then they just don't reply to you, and you know that they've read and seen your messages, and they're just deciding to not say even thank you for the message, but they're not interested. So yeah, I mean I've even messaged like super famous people and their agents, and they reply and say, I'm really busy at the moment, so it's not something that I can do. And you know, the people that I have contacted in the past, if they have taken the time to reply, then the people like radio DJs who don't reply, I think they've got no excuse, because there's no way that they are busier than these other people that I have at least received response from, and them personally saying that unfortunately they can't do it at the moment. And it's not just, you know, a standard response email that comes back instantly. They've actually taken the time to read my message. So yeah, the only people that I do lose respect for are especially the DJs, when I was trying to, you know, get my music on unsigned things, for example, you know, unsigned programs that you have on the radio stations, and then they would ignore you. That's something that I thought, yeah, that's not nice. It's not cool, because this is the only route independent musicians have got. You can't go to the big radio stations and be featured on there, because it's all paid for previously by the record labels. And if you're not signed to a big record label, you can't get on there. It's just a closed door. So your only foot into the radio and getting your music on the radio is with unsigned programs on, smaller independent radio stations. So when they start ignoring you and closing the door, you think, well, what do independent bands do? If the only route is through this door that is an independent musical door, effectively, and it's being shut in your face, you can't do anything. It's literally a dead end. So this is why I say, get yourself online, do all your own promotion, all your own marketing, own your music, get your publishing rights sorted. Yeah, just promote yourself as much as you can. And if you do start to get people that are interested in you, then you've got a website, you can sell your music. And as soon as you sell 1 CD, that is money for you. And if you are pricing your CDs correctly, you will make a profit on that 1 CD. And if one person buys a CD that, you know, isn't maybe a family member, if one person buys it, it means that more people will buy it. You've just got to keep the faith and keep pushing forward and just work hard. I mean, there's no secret to it, but you can do it. And that's why I think doing it that way is so much more effective than trying to go through other people, because eventually when you do reach your goals, you are going to be the one who is now in control of everything, and you decide exactly what you look like on the internet. You can have your personality on the internet, and you don't have to pretend to be anything that you're not, because you're just you. And that is so much better than, you know, signing a contract and people wanting to mold you into a particular person or a particular image. It's another thing that I had when we play as a band, and people would say, oh yeah, you know, nice music, but you got to have more attitude. You need more tattoos. You got to be a little bit more, you know, F the system, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, but that's not me. What would be the point in me pretending to be something I'm not? Because some people don't realise that the general public aren't idiots. They will know that you're not really like that. And there's only so long that you can keep up an act before you actually feel like you're fatigued, because you think, I'm not like this anymore. Every interview I'm having to pretend to be someone that I'm not. So even along those lines, and that's kind of really personal, that's something that I think will eat away at you throughout your career, that you're not who you are, and eventually you'll just want to do your own music and be your own person, because that's what we all want to be. And you will want to have musical credibility and respect for being yourself, and I think that's something that a lot of musicians have struggled with in the past, and they might turn to, you know, drugs and alcohol because they are living this double life, and it's something that you're not meant to do, or you're not designed mentally to be able to cope with that. So yeah, I say that as well. Always just do the music the way you want to do it, and don't make any apologies for it. Just be yourself, because people will latch onto that. They'll know whether you're faking or not, and if you're real, then people have something real to attach themselves to as well, and they'll never be let down, because you won't suddenly change overnight. But anyway, long answer to that particular question, but Jennifer donated $5 again. Thank you for that, and says, thanks for the Doris Day video. Curious, is harder to sing in the same range as you speak, or is it easier? Why don't more singers do that? So a lot easier to sing where you speak, because you're not having to, you know, push your chest voice and struggle for notes. The only thing is trying to access more of a singing voice or singing technique in your talking range. So what I mean by that is, if I hold this note is, you know, and this is the thing that we're hitting pitches when we talk. If I go is, I'm just really talking. But if I go is, I'm now putting a little bit more diaphragm into it and starting to sing rather than just say is. You can start to hear the difference, and it's just kind of getting used to, you know, leaning on your diaphragm a little bit, maybe lowering your larynx in order to get a deeper, more bodied, or a sound with more body to it. And when I say lower your larynx, I mean when you make dull sounds. If you try and pretend that you're, you know, not that intelligent, you go duh like that, duh, you'll feel your larynx go down. So you want to have that same kind of feeling when you go oh, and you'll find that you get a lot fuller sound to the sound that you talk with, because not a lot of people talk like this, or if I'm talking like this, then my tone and my voice now sounds totally different because my larynx is lower. And you can hear the difference actually where my larynx naturally goes to, that it starts to adjust itself to have more of a head voicey kind of sound. But everyone's different. Everyone talks differently. And this is why we all sound different when we talk, because of these tiny differences in where our larynx naturally positions itself, but to our, you know, resonance chambers that we have, which are our heads really, because we all look different. It means that we sound different, because the sound waves are hitting bones and, you know, cavities that consist of different spaces and different angles. So this is why, yeah, we have that that different sound. But not saying that there are a few people, and it's very rare, but there are a few people who can manipulate their vocal cords and their resonance to imitate other singers, and it's something that impressionists do as well, really well. So once you can control where the sound waves hit, you can start to change the tone and the texture of your voice to even imitate other singers. I say you can. Like I said, it's a rare talent to have, but some people can do it. Anyway, thank you for that, Jennifer. And we are going to be moving on. I mean, it's 10 to 1, so let me bring the... Actually, let me move this down a little bit because I want to bring the poll to an end to see what we are going to be listening to tonight. It looks like it's going to be Carry On Wayward Son at 57% of the vote. So thank you guys for voting for that. I know that there have been some other donations, and what I am just going to do actually is refresh the screen to make sure that I didn't miss any that came in after Jennifer's donation, because I think Jennifer's one was still while we were offline and we hadn't started the live stream. So let me have a look. And yes, it was. Oh, we did. Let me just scroll up. We did miss one, I think, maybe. M donated $5. So thank you for that, M. And the message was, do you constantly have to protect your hands being a guitar player? So thank you for that. And I'd say yes, pretty much. I'm usually very careful with what I'm doing with my hands, and I don't take any unnecessary risks. And, you know, if somebody invites me to do, I don't know, some kind of outdoor activity that I think, oh, it might injure my hands, that I tend to kind of just leave it and not do it. So yeah, I am always thinking about my hands and trying not to injure them. But of course, accidents happen, and sometimes you can't help, you know, having a golf buggy fall on your hand, as I had when I was helping my dad out with his golf buggy, and yeah, hurt my little finger. But you know, sometimes these things happen, but I am generally, yeah, really careful. But thank you for that, M. Kate has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Kate. The message is, hello, Phil and everyone. So everyone say hello to Kate in that live chat room. And Rich has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Rich. The message is, Phil, the donation process changed PayPal on our end, so thus the font changed perhaps. So thank you for that, Rich. Yeah, it seems like with some of the donations it looks a little bit different with the font, but thanks for the heads up. And I tell you what, we've got to get into this cover video because we are moving along. It's almost 5 to 1 here in the UK in the morning. So we'll jump into this. Thank you guys for requesting it over on Patreon, but for voting for Carry On Wayward Son, we'll jump into it and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. Okay, Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. Let's do this. Rock. Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. As I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion, I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming, I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Oh no. Masquerading as a man with a reason, my charade was the event of the season. If I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. On a stormy sea of moon
course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say, carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Carry on, you will always remember. Carry on, nothing equals the splendor. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you. Carry on, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.
And there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, my version of Carry On Wayward Son. And thank you for voting for that on tonight's poll. Right, let's try to keep everything organised. I think we're pretty much okay with the donations. I think we have a few more to go actually. So Echo donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message was, I was wondering if you'd consider an analysis on the live performance by Pink Floyd at Pompeii. Also, did you ever think of making music in that style? So thank you. And yes, of course, you know, for the analysis. And with, I mean, the style of music, I think you only ever really make music that you make, and you don't really try and do it in any particular style. The style that you write in is just kind of natural. So yeah, I've never really thought about trying to write in a particular style of another band, just writing in the style that I enjoy the sound of, which is, yeah, kind of 80s, you know, melodic hard rock, that kind of thing. So yes, haven't really thought about writing in a particular style, but thank you for that, Echo. I'm just going to check on this thing that we haven't got any echo going on. Perfect timing, but hopefully it's okay with your setup that you can hear me clearly and it's not echoing in it. Hopefully it just sometimes happens, I think, after we play the cover video that I get an echo going on. But thank you for that, Echo. I mean, the donation. Orlando's donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, why is 7/8 time considered unique? Just curious. So thank you for that, Orlando. And so very quickly, anything that is going to be an odd number, it's not going to flow. So 7/8 timing. If we, I mean, I'll give the easier examples first. So 4/4 timing is something that is used all the time. So you just count to 4 and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's even. It's going to be going the whole time, and because it's an even number, it means it flows. But when you then double that up and say that we're now counting to 8, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, we're still flowing. But if we go odd and we go 7/8, which means you now count to 7, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, and you've ended too early. So it means that when you're trying to count along, because it's odd, it doesn't feel like it should be there. So, I mean, the best way to describe this probably is if I count along, like even then, actually subconsciously, I was going 1, 2, 3, and I'm moving forward on each number. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you kind of get into that groove of kind of moving backwards and forwards. And when you go to 7, it's almost like your groove is interrupted. And it's obviously, timing is very much a feel thing. So you can count along. And more often than not, when there is a song that has odd time signatures, you know that it's weird and that something's not right, but you're not necessarily counting along. You just feel that the rhythm has something strange about it and it's not what you're expecting, and it might be difficult for you to, figure out or know what's going on. And, it's just one of those things that, bands that are slightly more progressive in nature will love to do this. They'll just throw in some odd time signatures, sometimes in the same composition, so that the whole composition, isn't going, 5/4, for example. They might have one bar of 5/4 back to 4/4. So it means that you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next bar will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and they'll add that in. So it means that unless you are counting along, you might get totally lost as to where you are unless you know the time signatures and where they are changing. But yes, I mean, Rush is one of those bands that, pop to mind when you think about these cheeky time signature changes that they throw in there, and they'll throw it in there with a riff that actually lasts for that amount of time, even, having a 4/4 followed by, 5/4, and have that as the whole riff, so that you need to be counting to know exactly where you're then starting the riff again. I mean, you can practice it and just get used to it and the feel of it, but it's a lot easier to count it out because then you know exactly where the riff starts again. But anyway, yes, that's why it's just considered odd or unique, because it feels like that. It's very much a feel thing, and yeah, just counting it out, you'll start to understand the feeling and why it feels like that. But thank you for that, Orlando. Stardust Unicorn has donated $1.49. So thank you for that, Stardust Unicorn. Support band to Wings of Pegasus. And there's a picture of a rainbow there. Spec has donated $5 as well. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. Right, let's get into some pictures because we have a couple of these to look at tonight. Let me scroll down to have a look at, first of all, Suzanne, who I think is the first person to model the Wings of Pegasus earrings and necklace combo. So thank you for this, Suzanne. And this is the merchandise over at wingsofpegasus.com/merch. And this is the merchandise that Carla organizes over there. So thank you for uploading that one, Suzanne. And we have Kevin's on his he's on his travels again, but he is okay, right, I'm going to go to, I'm a football fan in the UK, but I'm not an American football fan. We call it soccer football here, so it means that my football is soccer. And yeah, I'm not into American football, but I think this was the reason that I am trying to find it is so that I get this right. So here we go. It's at the Indianapolis Colts Stadium, and I mean, hence the cheerleaders, because Vince told me that he's there. Kevin's there with 2 Colts cheerleaders, and he's visiting the Jim Irsay guitar collection. So that is at the stadium. So thank you, Kevin, for uploading that one, and thank you, Vince, as well, for linking me to these pictures. But what I might do is just get that back off the screen to have a quick look at the message from Carla as well. And it looks like the message from Carla is Suzanne's picture from Vince as well. So thank you guys for linking me to those. But that's good that we have shown Suzanne's picture, because it means that, yeah, I won't have to stop the whole live stream, potentially, if it has to load and all that kind of stuff. But thank you, Vince and Carla, for linking me to the pictures. So those are the pictures for tonight. And I believe that we've hit our pick roulette target for tonight. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. You can still do that, of course. But we are going to be jumping into tonight's pick roulette. So we'll jump into it now, and I'll see you guys in a second where I will pick a top tip. Rock. So here is the pick roulette wheel, and let's have a little look on there. I'm just having a quick look into the live chat room to see if anybody wants to be the top tip, but if not, if I don't see anybody in like the next 2 seconds, then I am going to pick a name at random. Okay, right, let's pick a name at random. Right, Ardentine Kent. Arden Tyne Kent. You can probably hear I'm typing the name down. A bit of a complicated one to choose, but it will stand out a little bit more. So, I was going to say congratulations to Arden if you do win, but you know the likelihood of that happening is very slim. So, by the way, if this is your first pick roulette, we have the darker segments here. These are the t-shirts. If we land on one of those, then we have a t-shirt roulette. But if we land on a name, then somebody's going away with a Wings of Pegasus pick, but somebody's going away with a Wings of Pegasus pick anyway, because that's the point of this. So if we land on a t-shirt, we will spin again and then have the t-shirt roulette afterwards. So let's give the wheel a spin and see who is going to win. So we are spinning, and soon we'll see who is winning. I feel a little bit like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory during these pick roulettes, because he always used to say stuff like that. And I'm talking about the old school movie with... his name has just escaped. I do know his name, but his name has just escaped my mind at the vital second. Anyway, we have... Frank, maybe it's going to be Linda. He's going to get as far as Charlie. It looks like... Wow, that was close. It seemed like it went on for a bit longer there. So it was Linda who has won tonight. So congratulations to you, Linda. Commiserations to Arden and everybody else who didn't win tonight. And Linda, if you can let yourself be... Well, let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room. That would be much appreciated, so that she can get everything that she needs from you in order to send you the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So we are going to be having a pick roulette next week. So everybody, if you do want to get your name on the roulette wheel next week, now is the time, because the entries are now open for next week's pick roulette. So let me go into that live chat room and do a little bit of an example at Carla Murray. So I'm just tagging Carla's username. Tagging Carla's username. My brain's taken the U from username and put it right at the beginning. So anyway, yes, we are going to be putting in Carla's username and type I agree. So I haven't even done that yet. So I agree, exclamation mark. There we go. Just copy what everybody's doing here. Is usually better than relying on what I do, because I might even make a mistake when I'm typing, because I'm doing lots of things at the same time. But yes, type at Carla Murray, I agree, in order to get your name on next week's pick roulette wheel. So go and do that. Right, let me try and think of what we're going to... Right, we're 10 minutes past 1. So what we're going to do next is probably address the donations that have just come in. And Orlando has donated $10 again. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, my question was dedicated to the late Neil Peart, who would have turned 70 this past Monday. He was the chief songwriter of Tom Sawyer, which had a 7/8 time signature. May he rest in peace. So thank you for that, Orlando. And yeah, it just so happened to be, the fact that I did, mention about, Rush and having those odd time signatures. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think we are up to date in the super chat window. So thank you guys for all of those. I always say you don't have to donate, but they do make a huge difference. So they are massively appreciated. And I'm just going to jump over into the PayPal window, because Mary has donated £5. Thank you for that, Mary. And the message is, what about Jim Neighbours? Maybe you could address this next time. So thank you for that, Mary. And I'll make a note of Jim for my list. I'm just going to scroll up because Cynthia has donated £4.09. So thank you for that, Cynthia. And it's a bit of a longer message. Hi, Phil and Wingers. I haven't been around because I was watching the US Open tennis tournament every day. I wanted to let you know that one of the finalists, Casper Ruud, is the highest ranked Norwegian tennis player in history. He is currently number 2 in the world, a very hard-working and classy player. So thank you for that, Cynthia, for the heads up about Casper and his roots as well. I am part Norwegian, and I'm sure that's why that little statement has come up. But yes, I was born in the UK, but my grandmother and on my father's side, was Norwegian, so we've got that Norwegian side of the family. My mum was born in Scotland, so we've got that in the family as well. And obviously, I was born in England, and my dad was born in England as well. So yeah, we've got a bit of a mix going on. But thank you for that, Cynthia. And William has donated £8.18. Thank you for that, William. And the message is, keep rocking in the free world on your own course. So thank you for that. And I will do. That's pretty much how we roll on this channel. We just keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. But I mean, thank you guys for tuning in to these live streams full stop so that I can interact with you guys in a live setting. And what shall we do? 13 minutes past 1. Let's have a riff of the week, I think. So let's get rid of that just to finish with. Let me jump into my inbox in order to get the email from Laura that she sends to me. So thank you for this, Laura. And the reason that I don't reply to these emails, Laura, is because when I do, it now looks like every other email that's been read. So when I come to do the live stream, it's not in bold anymore. So it's really difficult to see amongst all the emails which is the riff of the week email. So that's why I don't do a reply to them, because it makes it a lot easier to just find the email straight away, like now, because I'm straight into it, which is good. Right, give me some numbers, people, in the live chat room. I can see that Robert was quick off the mark there with a number 2. Tracy, I can see a little bit further down, says number 11. And I'm just seeing the number 2 we've actually already had. Number 11, I think, is one that we haven't had yet. I might just keep on looking at the numbers, see what we can get going on. And if there aren't any numbers that come out multiple times, I think number 11 is the front runner at the moment. 57. I think I saw a few 57s, another 57. Why are there so many 57s? And I'm a little bit suspicious maybe of the 57s, because people might have already seen the riff and now know what it is. Orlando says 57, Kim says 57, so I'm going to be suspicious of the 57s and I'm going to pick number 11. So let's jump into... I'm going to have to try and do that. Get rid of that. Okay, riff of the week 11 is what we just decided. What I just decided. And let's click on that. Click on that. And there's an advert. So I have to wait in order for that to finish, so you guys don't have to watch it. It's not too bad. I think it's only like 15 seconds. Sometimes they go on for 30 seconds and you can't skip them, which is a bit of a pain. You can't actually skip this one. I always... Aha, here we go. Right, I can see that it is going to be a beginner riff, which means it's going to be easy, I think, for you guys to guess. But I have to do the screen capture thing first. And, oh wow, at the top it says Wings of Pegasus is live now. So it's just telling me that I'm live, which is useful information for me. Right, let's get this up on screen. Let's see if we can remember what this is. Let's see if I can remember it as well. And we're just trying to name the song here. You can name the band as well if you want to, but let's have a listen and see what it is. we have it, and I think this is going to be one that's very easy, especially if you're a fan of the Rocky movies. I can see Eye of the Tiger is going through, so a super easy one for tonight. And I'm just going to scroll up to see if we can see who got it first. So Bonnie said Eye of the Tiger. So well done, Bonnie. And scrolling up. Okay, I think Bonnie was maybe the first to get it, but we can see that we have had a lot of correct guesses. Kevin says Free Bird. There's always a free bird in there somewhere, or a rainbow in there somewhere. Eye of the Tiger, we've got Bob in there, Selena, Orlando, just scrolling down, Susan and Dennis, Anna, Steve, and yes, we just had a little bit of a skip through there. So, congratulations everybody. Karen says Rocky, so yes indeed, from the Rocky soundtrack, and I believe Rocky 2 is the... Yeah, I think that's the movie that the Survivor track was on. So, yes, Eye of the Tiger. Congratulations, everybody that got it. If you didn't, never mind. If you didn't get it, maybe you should watch Rocky 2. Or just all the Rocky movies. Maybe not Rocky 5. I'm not sure, because I am a big fan of the movies. But, yeah, it seems like even... Let me just get this off the screen. It seems like even Sylvester Stallone... maybe regrets number 5 a little bit. I know I saw an interview with him that said that he wanted to do Rocky Balboa just to kind of finish or end on a good note for the Rocky movies, because I think Rocky 5 at the time maybe didn't get very good reviews, so yeah, a bit of a shame there, but that kind of always tends to happen, that you can just push it one movie too far. Rocky 4 was amazing. That's kind of maybe certainly from a soundtrack perspective, my favourite Rocky movie. So yeah, Rocky 4 was great, and it kind of had a little bit of a deeper storyline as well, with the USA and Russia and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was great. I mean, I just love the original Rocky movie as well. You can't beat the first one, but Rocky 4, I mean, that would have been great to just have that as the last one. But yeah, Rocky 5 then happened, but it's all what you're into. It's just my own personal opinion that I just tend to kind of skip over Rocky 5. But anyway, I'm sure there are other movie franchises that people don't like particular entries of, but we are going to be calling things to a close before we start talking about movies, especially 80s movies. We are going to be calling this to a close, but thank you guys for tuning in tonight and joining me. I am just going to make sure that everything's up to date with the donations windows, so I don't miss any, because if any of them come in late, usually there's a bit of a delay, so even by 30 seconds means that I then end the live stream and then it comes up on the screen. So we are up to date with the donations at the moment. So thank you guys for joining me tonight, and huge shout out to the moderators as always for doing such a fantastic job. I'm going to be here with another analysis video tomorrow night, but on Friday, I'm just thinking there might not be an analysis video, because I'm going to be doing the interview on Friday that I mentioned earlier tonight, and I'm going to get back to Karen Gould, to the email that I received during this live stream, and yeah, let her and Mike Dawes know that we can do that on Friday. And obviously, that will take place of my analysis video, but I can't edit the video all together on Friday because there's too much work to do. It takes too long. So probably Friday night there won't be an analysis video, but on Sunday there will be one, and I'll let you guys know when the interview will be out, because I have to edit that together. It's a bit of a longer process. I'll keep you guys in the loop as always over on patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll see you tomorrow night with that analysis video, and of course I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday night, so I'll let you know how the interview went then. Huge shout out to everyone in the live chat room for joining me. Thank you guys so much. It's great to be able to talk with you live, and I hope that I'll see you on Saturday as well. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!